The Xiaomi Mi Note 2, Xiaomi's first phone with a curved display. So how does it fare? Well, let's find out in this video. But before we do, if this is your first time here or in case you've forgotten, my name's Ash, this is C4E Tech and you're watching our full review of the Xiaomi Mi Note 2. Let's get started. This time around, let's start with that display, given that it's the USB and all. This is a curved OLED display with a full HD resolution that, when spread across 5.7 inches, amounts to a pixel density of 386 pixels per inch. The display looks nice with punchy colors. The curve's not too prominent, but it's there. It's all good unless you look at the display sideways. When you do that, this display looks really blue. I expected it to bother me a lot and it didn't, but if that's the kind of thing that annoys you, then the Note 2 is not for you. The reason for this is probably because Xiaomi has gone with a LG made OLED panel here. This has a diamond pentile matrix with twice the blue pixels as red and green. And given that it's a pentile matrix and the fact that we are already stretching 1080p over 5.7 inches, this display is not the sharpest around. Overall though, it is a decent display, not the best. I'd rate it somewhere between average and good. Now, Xiaomi's not added any edge-specific functionality with MIUI on the Mi Note 2, but the display does help keep the phone ergonomic. The advantage of having a curved display is the width being lesser than on other devices. That said, this is one tall phone and it's not really single-hand usage friendly. Glass to the front and back makes it slippery to hold at times. Remember, the glass to the back is curved too, so the Note 2 does feel much slimmer than it actually is in hand. It reeks of premiumness, if that's a word. And despite all the fingerprints, I like what Xiaomi's done here. Now, let's take a closer look at that build. Above the display, we've got a notification LED, earpiece, sensors, and an 8 megapixel camera with an f2.0 aperture and autofocus. Now that's interesting. Below the display, we've got dots for the capacitive keys and a physical home key in between, just like the Mi 5. And just like the Mi 5, this key has a fingerprint scanner built in. It's a passive scanner, meaning you have to press the physical home key to wake the Mi Note 2. But it's very fast and accurate. That brings me to a weird fact. The Mi 5 had a physical clickable home key. The Mi 5S has a capacitive home key to the front. The Mi 5S Plus has just capacitive keys to the front and a fingerprint scanner to the back. But the Mi Note 2 brings us back to the Mi 5's physical home key. Xiaomi seems to be a little all over the place with regards to placements, and I really wish they made up their mind. Anyway, to the back, we've got a 22.56 megapixel camera with a dual-tone dual LED flash. Xiaomi's not mentioned what brand of curved 3D glass they are using here for protection or with the display either. Anyway, we've got the Mi branding below. The power button and the volume rockers are located to the right. At the bottom, we have a USB Type-C port, the primary microphone, and internal speaker. Up top, there's the 3.5mm headphone jack, secondary microphone, and an IR blaster. To the left, we've got a dual SIM tray, no microSD here. Underneath the hood, the Mi Note 2, just like the Mi 5S Plus, is powered by the 64-bit quad-core Snapdragon 821 chip. This is the chip that sports the higher clock speed. Two sets of cryo cores clocked at 2.35 and 2.2 GHz respectively. This phone's available in 464 and 6128 RAM storage configurations. The 464 variant is what you're seeing me use in this video. With intensive usage scenarios like gaming, the Mi Note 2 had no issues with anything we threw at it. It also managed to remain cool throughout. The audio via the downward firing speakers reasonably loud, and the audio output via the 3.5mm headphone jack was good too. I experienced no issues with cellular reception or call quality, and this phone, though not sold directly in India, does support GeoVolt out of the box. All this is powered by a 4070 mAh battery, and the battery life on this guy was great. With my regular usage, I was able to get almost 2 days on a single charge. My regular usage involves a couple of hours of calls, 30 minutes of streaming video, a couple of hours of music over Bluetooth, some mild gaming, a lot of mails and social media. And with this kind of usage, the Mi Note 2 had no issues, lasting me well over a day without me even having to resort to any power saving modes. Now let's move on to the cameras. To the back, the Mi Note 2 sports a 22.56 megapixel camera with a f2.0 aperture and support for face detection autofocus. It's using a 1x2.6 inch Sony IMX318 sensor. There's no optical image stabilization though. Under good lighting conditions, the Mi Note 2 performed great. Loads of detail, accurate colors, the dynamic range was good, but under low light, the amount of pixels crammed into the sensor coupled with a lack of optical image stabilization meant the Mi Note 2 did not fare quite as well. There is a bit of noise that creeps in. It could have been better is the feeling I got when I actually looked at these sample images. This camera can also shoot 4K videos at 30 frames per second. The detail level's good, colors are natural, the electronic image stabilization though feels like a letdown. It only leads to sudden jerkiness, like a sudden shifting of the frame. Just watch this closely. Anyway, the Mi Note 2 packs a 8 megapixel front camera with a wide f2.2 aperture. It's not fixed focus, so you can tap to focus and get a reasonable amount of bokeh as well if the conditions are right. It gets the colors right, skin tones great, and a lot of detail. Software wise, this is pretty much a standard Xiaomi affair. The Mi Note 2 runs on MIUI 8 built on top of Android 6 Marshmallow, and since I picked this up from China, there was no Google Play services preloaded. I had to sideload it. Xiaomi is now preloading Cortana and Microsoft apps. That was interesting. Additionally, there's an option to turn off the capacitive keys and just use the phone with a single key. Set this and you get to press the key for home as always, press and hold for recent apps, tap for back, as this is also a capacitive key. Given I like the ZUK implementation, this is how I use the Mi Note 2 in my week with it. As far as day-to-day performance goes, as expected, this phone performed great. Apps opened up quick, there was no lag, memory management was also top-notch. There isn't anything more I could expect from a phone with regards to day-to-day usage. Xiaomi has delivered here. On that note, let's talk price. The Mi Note 2 is currently sold at 27.99 and 32.99 yuan for the 464 and 628 gig variants. That's 28,000 and 33,000 rupees, or $410 and $480 respectively. And since it's not available in markets outside of China, one needs to factor in third-party markups, shipping and import duties as well. Even at the Xiaomi standard price, the Mi Note 2 doesn't seem to be a great buy. Yes, it performs well, but there are a lot of phones more easily available or priced cheaper that perform similarly. The display, that's supposed to be the unique selling point here, is a bit of a letdown, and the build is probably the only standout feature here. So the Mi Note 2, in my honest opinion, ends up being closer to a miss than a hit. That is just my 2 cents. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know what you have to say in the comments below. So I guess that's it for this review. Give it a big thumbs up if you liked it. If you didn't, vote it down. And for more videos, hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already. Do this to make sure you get notified every time a video goes live on C4eTech. If you do want to pick a Mi Note 2 up, I'll leave direct links in the description below. Use them, that helps the channel out. So thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, this is Ash here from C4eTech signing off. You guys have a great day. Bye bye now.